this is the fun time of the year. Like I told our guys, it's not work time anymore. There's no more pressure. There's no more unknowns. It's time to have fun and time to compete. And, it's what it's all about when you play important baseball in the month of June. And really nice to be here at this point. And grateful I got a great group of guys who took on the challenge of that schedule and the travel, and it just wears you out physically, it wears you out academically, and then you ask them to play 56 games on top of it. But not one of my guys ever complained about that schedule, as grueling as it was, because they never lost sight of the big picture and what that schedule would allow us to do, and what that schedule did with the right group of guys. It put us in position to play in June and hopefully get hot in the month of June.
You're going up against a team that hits 300. I think they're averaging 7.5 runs a game. What do you see from their lineup that's kind of gives you a little pause?
18 home runs, 16 home runs, 15 home runs, 15 home runs. Those are the top 4 guys. That'll make you pause and think a little bit. It's a really good program. Those guys, they're not one-hit wonders. They've won a lot of games for some time now. So, and they're playing good baseball. They're hot. And they're well coached, pretty physical, and they pitch it very well too. The back end of their game is as good as it gets in the country, and we'll see their top starter, Nichols. And no one ever said it was going to be easy, but it's that time of year you're going to have to run through some arms to go where we want to go to. And but a really good team. Coach Burrows is one of the most respected coaches in the country, so look forward to playing his team. I've always admired his team from afar.
And Kalen, how do you feel like the schedule provided you, get you guys ready for postseason, going to Clemson, going to Tennessee, or going to Clemson and Tennessee as well, places like that?
It was definitely a tough schedule for us. It's definitely prepared us for, what we're about to, face going into the postseason. But I think Coach Hughes and the rest of the coaching staff did a really good job of preparing or helping us prepare for, like I said, really good baseball they're about to play in a couple of days here.
Question for both players. What were your emotions when you saw Kansas State flash up on the screen, just knowing that, it wasn't 100% certain you were going to get in?
First one was, I guess, just relief. Last year it was a really kind of gutting feeling, knowing that we probably could have done more and should have done more during the season, but we're still right on the edge. And then just happiness for the coaching staff, for the group of guys, all the hard work that everyone has put in has paid off, and now it's time to have some fun and go on a run.
How about you, Galen?
Can you repeat that question?
What were your emotions when you saw Kansas State flash on the screen during the selection show?
I don't know if you saw me in that video, but I was pretty excited. I wanted to jump out of my shoes because it's my first regional I'm ever going to go to. So a lot of energy, a lot of emotions wanted to show, but I had to keep my composure. So I just clapped and laughed out with the guys, and we kind of celebrated in the locker room. But I was happy for the guys. I think this is going to be another step and to our goal. So I'm excited.
Oh, and I also wanted to ask, how do you as a pitcher change your mentality going from a regular season start to now one of the more important ones you'll have?
I think it doesn't change that much. Our coaching staff, they've really done a good job helping us prepare mentally for each game. And when you've looked at our schedule, there's been a lot of high-quality games against teams that are in regionals now. And you don't really change your mentality from facing OU and Oklahoma State in season. I mean, those are regional hosts that we're playing 3 times in a weekend. So that's kind of prepared us all year to kind of be where we're at now. So we don't really have to change our mentality. we've been there, we've prepared.
And one more for Coach. What's maybe one or two things you really stress with these guys about winning the postseason? What are some of the most important things the team has to do to have success this time of year?
Well, we've already laid the groundwork. It's, that schedule has built a pretty strong foundation to head into the postseason anywhere. And really, it's just time to compete and have fun. It's worry-free baseball. You don't have to worry about academics. School's over. It's the greatest time of year in college baseball. So soak it in and have fun. It's pressure-free ball.
Coach, I'm sure after the elimination, you didn't think about a whole lot other than that selection Monday. So take me through those emotions day by day, even into the hours leading up to the selection. After all the work you did put in to try to put your team in the best spot to get in, were you all worried? Were you thinking about being left out last year? Could it happen again this year? Just what were the emotions leading up to it?
Yeah, you're never 100%, and we did a lot to get us away from that 100%. Believe me, you get your one strike away with a 2-run lead to sweep BYU on that Saturday, and as gut-wrenching as a loss that was, when I went up to my office and saw that our RPI dropped 7 spots with that one game, that triggered some other emotions, So, and then you go and you lose a heartbreaker in game 1 of the tournament. A 1-run game. It could have went either way, and now that second game against West Virginia is critical in our resume for the national tournament. But I just kept going to the body of work, to the strength of the schedule, to the intent of the schedule, hoping that would carry us, because we did play the most difficult schedule in league. We played one of the most difficult schedules out of conference and overall schedule. And I kept leaning on that for our body of work, and I was hoping the committee would do the same thing, and they did. I mean, look, we're 6th place in the 3rd best conference in the country. It's that's a tournament resume. But you're right. You're never comfortable until you become a brand name traditional program. You're never comfortable on Memorial Day weekend.
In the Big 12 tournament, you were a little bit stuck with the pitching situation because of the short turnaround. Now that you've got over a week, what kind of approach do you sort of go with the rotation, or is it just all hands on deck every game, or what's your approach pitching-wise?
We have enough time to settle back into our normal rotation. So Owen will go on Friday, and Jackson Wentworth will go on Saturday, and then we'll just TBA it from there. It's critical to win game 1 in these things. You've got to stay out of the losing bracket, and when you're a 3 seed, you're going to play a really good opponent, and really when you're a 1 seed, you're going to play a good opponent. There's so much parity in college baseball. I know there's not too many shoe-in comfortable games out there because college baseball has gotten so good. But yeah, we think that's critical for us to come out and do whatever it takes to win game 1 against a really good opponent.
You feel a little more comfortable with the situation, the fact that you've got everybody available on day 1?
I do. Yeah, I always feel good when our bullpen's healthy and ready to go, and Tyson's feeling good. And and the other thing is Ty Rule is one of the major pieces of our puzzle in this program for the last 2 years, and he came back and turned down professional baseball, and he's been injured all year, but his last 2 bullpens have been the best I've seen all year. So I feel as though that today we're as strong as we've been and as deep as we've been all year with our pitching staff, with what I've seen Ty Rule do in his last 2 bullpens. So I feel good about our arms.
And Owen, going into that start, you pitched a complete game last time. Are you looking to give him that kind of innings again, or is
I mean, yeah, ideally. But at the end of the day, whatever is going to help our team get the win, whether that means I go the whole game or I hand it off to Tyson at the end, we just want to win that first game.
Kalen, you really seemed to lock in down at Arlington. What was your approach during those games during the tournament?
I told Coach Hughes this after one of the games. I said, for some reason, I always play well at Globe Life. I just feel comfortable playing at a big leagues park, I guess. But it's kind of funny. But, I mean, what Owen said, I just wanted to do whatever it took to win. And when you're playing for a Big 12 championship or, something that's greater on the line, you lock in more and you play harder. And it means more.
And Coach, you're familiar with the environment down at Arkansas. You prepare you guys in any way for what it's going to be like, or is it just like any other Big 12 road trip?
I wouldn't say that. I would. It is one of the best venues in college baseball with a rabid fan base, but these guys have played in those venues before in that atmosphere. Arkansas certainly is at the top of the list. I think our guys will embrace it. It's believe me, it's not a field trip mentality. I can promise you that. These guys play in the Big 12, and some of the toughest places to play in the country are in our league. Whether it's in Stillwater or whether it's in Lubbock. I mean, those are really, really difficult places to play. West Virginia is an uncomfortable place to play. So we've been there. Our guys know that. They've just got to keep their adrenaline in check and use it to their advantage. But I've never been to Fayetteville. I've never been to this park, so I'm looking forward to it. And I do know it's one of the tops in the countries, and in the country, and I know they're top attendance in the country every year, and that's what college baseball is all about. So we're fortunate to be heading down there and having that experience with our guys.
Kalen, where would you say your excitement level is to go into this?
I'll say definitely all-time high. I mean, I can't really explain anything else. It's at an all-time high because, like I said, it's a regional. A lot of guys on the team have never been to a regional before, so I think we're just excited and we don't really know what to expect. So we're all just, we're just gonna have fun and soak it all in.
For both you and Coach, what is it about Owen and his pitching style that makes him hard to get hits against?
Well, I'll let Casey start. He's a lot better hitter than I was.
I mean, Owen, first and foremost, he's a great overall pitcher, all-around pitcher. He spots, he locates pretty well. He has we like to call it a funky delivery that gets a lot of guys off, off timing and things like that. But he has a lot of pitches that works well for him, and he can throw it pretty much wherever he wants it, whenever. So
Competes, throws strikes, never going to beat himself. Loves the big moment.
Coach, you plan to have Chuck Ingram back in the lineup Friday?
I think so. Yeah, Chuck, this game will beat you up. Sometimes you just need a little step back. Kid's had a lot of success in his career, I can see it when it's taking an emotional toll on a player because we're all so result-oriented, and this game is built on failure. It's a bad combination. Sometimes it gets the best of you, and you just need to get a different perspective and get away from it for a little bit. So that's what we did with Chuck.
For both the players, what does Brendan Jones at the top of the order mean? Getting on base and just his consistency?
it means a lot. Whenever he gets on early in the game, we know there's going to be a lot of run production because when he gets on base, he's always going to steal. He's very aggressive, and I think we all know that. So I think his mentality is to get on first and then get on second and then let everybody else, hit him in.
Yeah, he really sets the tone. He plays with a lot of energy. It's always going to be a tough out, whether, even if it's a ground ball, it just puts a lot of pressure on the defense. And then when he gets on first, it puts a lot of pressure on the pitcher, which allows the rest of our offense to kind of elevate. He just kind of gets everything going.
were you kind of encouraged the last couple of games? You got the bats going a little bit after struggling a little bit against Cade. Do you feel like that gives you a little bit of momentum there going in?
Yeah, I said that in the middle of our game, the last game there, that if anything, we got the bats going, David Bishop was starting to swing the bat. I thought Kalen's at-bats were as good as I've seen all year. His approach, even his misses, were really good. Brandon Jones hit the home run, and get Brennan going is good. I thought Brady Day had some really good at-bats, and, so I was really encouraged with how they swung the bat at Globe Life. It's these regionals, it's always the team that has a couple guys that just get hot, and we're certainly capable of it, and I hope it happens for us. It's a special group of guys. They're certainly talented enough, and we just got to get hot. Hopefully we'll do that this weekend.